Do you still want me to take off my mask?
Many people think that scary stories and horrifying events are nothing but fiction. But one day I faced something that cannot be explained with words. That was the moment I realized evil is real, and the only thing that can save you is faith. My name is Arni, and today I'll tell you who I am and why I sit before you wearing this mask. It all began 20 years ago. After a regular workday as an officer, I came back home. I stopped by a store, grabbed a bag of chips and a soda, planning to crash on the couch and watch another show with my small family. But then the phone rang. It was my best friend, Joe. His voice was shaking. I could barely make out his words, but one thing was clear. He was begging me to come and get him. Before I could ask anything, he hung up. A second later, a message came through with his location. I opened the map and immediately felt uneasy. The pin pointed to an abandoned house far outside the city, deep in the woods. Without much thought, I grabbed my pistol and drove out there. By the time I arrived, night had fully fallen. The house stood in complete darkness, silent, almost breathing with dread. Inside, the first floor was empty. I searched carefully, then headed upstairs. That's when I saw them. Strange symbols carved or drawn onto the walls, smeared in something dark. I stepped closer to take a better look, when suddenly, everything went black. A crushing blow struck the back of my head. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. My face was completely wrapped in bandages. I didn't understand what was happening until a nurse passing by my room saw me awake. She froze in fear and ran to call the doctor. Soon after, a doctor entered, along with my chief. The first thing I asked was, "Where's Joe? Why am I here? What happened to my face?" They didn't answer. Instead, they started questioning me, what I remembered about that night. I told them everything, how Joe called me, how I drove to the house, what I saw, and the moment I blacked out. When I finished, my chief finally spoke. He told me Joe had been found dead, his body mutilated, his eyes, his tongue, and his heart cut out. And me, I was found barely alive, with massive blood loss, my skull fractured, and deep cuts across my face. I'd fallen into a coma for 2 weeks. But then he told me something worse, something I still wish I never heard. Every single person who saw my uncovered face, doctors, nurses, police officers, had either died soon after or fallen into critical condition. Each death happened differently. Accidents, sudden illnesses, but all of it after making direct eye contact with me. With my face, I didn't want to believe it. I thought it was insane, a cruel joke. I begged them to take off the bandages, to let me go home, but they refused. They said it was too dangerous. That night, as I tried to sleep, the itching beneath the bandages drove me mad. I tried to rip them off, but I couldn't. Eventually, I drifted into a nightmare. I dreamt of that house. I saw everything play out again, only this time, from outside my own body. I watched myself enter, climb the stairs, and then I saw who struck me from behind. 4 figures cloaked in black, hoods covering their faces. They dragged Joe, hanging him on the wall. They began some kind of ritual, draining his blood into a bowl, drinking it one by one. Then they turned to me. I felt their knife etching symbols into my face. And in the dream, the pain was real. So real, it woke me up screaming, shaking the entire hospital wing. The nurse rushed in, terrified, asking what happened. I told her only one thing. I need a fortune teller. A seer. The next morning, my doctor returned. He said they had brought in a blind old woman, a powerful seer from another state. When she entered my room, she demanded the entire floor be cleared of people. Only once her orders were followed did she sit before me, whispering in a language I couldn't understand. Then suddenly, she cried out, stood, and approached me. From her bag, she pulled out a small, ancient-looking knife. Slowly, she began cutting through the knots of the bandages. Piece by piece, she unwrapped my face. Each layer tore at the half-healed wounds beneath, burning me with unbearable pain. Tears streamed down my eyes. But finally, the bandages came off. Without hesitation, she placed her bloody hands on my face. She ran her fingers across the scars, unafraid. But then, she froze. Fear twisted her expression. She pulled away and began chanting, spitting 3 times into her palms and wiping them across my hair. And then she whispered,
"You were never meant to live. You were supposed to be the sacrifice. You should not be alive."
She repeated it again and again until I grabbed her wrist and demanded she lift the curse. But she shook her head.
They failed to finish the ritual. Something interrupted them. But the curse remains. No one alive can remove it. You cannot stay among the living. Your only chance is to master it before it masters you.
Her words cut deeper than any knife. I knew my life would never be the same. I had 2 choices: hide away forever, endangering my wife and daughter, or disappear and find a way to live with this curse. That night I made my choice. I rewound the bandages, thanked the old woman, and listened to her parting words.
Live and stay alive.
That very night I escaped the hospital. From the 2nd floor window, it wasn't hard. I went straight home. Through the living room window, I slipped inside. My daughter was asleep. I didn't even dare kiss her goodbye, afraid my presence alone might harm her. I packed a few things and vanished. I fled north to Canada. For 3 years, I lived in complete isolation, learning to control this curse. And in time, I realized it wasn't just a curse, it was also a gift. I gained powers no ordinary seer could dream of. And with them, I began helping people. In the past 20 years, I've faced horrors you couldn't imagine, things that nearly broke me. But if I'm sitting here telling you this story, it means I survived them all. Now I'm done working in the shadows. I'm stepping into a new chapter. I want everyone to understand. Evil is real, but it feeds on your fear. And from now on, the only thing that can save you is not fear, but faith. Faith in God.